putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
So, Doctor, last week it was all about the Democrats saying we have to redact all of the national security secrets in this Republican memo. It's going to reveal far too much. It's too dangerous. Now the situation is totally reversed. We shouldn't redact anything in the Democrat memo that's about to be released. Everything should be there for the public to see. Your opinion on all this?
As my good friend Chris Plant, the radio show host, says, if the Democrats didn't have two standards, double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all. Look, can we just remind ourselves what Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi said a few days ago? They said that if the Republican memo, the Nunes memo, is released, it will be the end of the world.
Right.
Sources and methods will be disclosed. What happens? The memo isn't redacted one scintilla. The president, nobody has to redact it. It comes out. Nothing undermines national security. There's no sources and no methods unveiled. All we find out is that the Obama administration, Adam Schiff's buddies, were weaponizing the DOJ and the FBI to illegally spy on American citizens. Adam Schiff is a liar.
Well, just to focus on what they were saying last week as opposed to this week. Last week they were saying that this is so dangerous, the Republican memo had to be redacted or perhaps not shown at all. Right after it's released and we see these explosive elements that you've described, we hear from the Democrats, oh, there was nothing important in there. Either it's important or it isn't important. You can't have it both ways.
You can't have the memo, the Republican memo, and its unveiling trigger Armageddon, and then 72 hours later be a nothing burger. This is the Democrats. This is their argument. Either it's incredibly dangerous or it's nothing. And the other thing is, David, can we just remember for the last 50 years, what has the left been about? What have the Democrats been about? Let it all out there, whether it's the Pentagon Papers, whether it's deep
no matter what happens to the FBI or the CIA or any other intelligence agency.
Welcome back, resistance, everybody. That's what our theme is today, resistance. You are the resistance. And I know we're not used to being that because we are the type of people that like to go with the flow. We don't rock the boat. There's no boat to rock because we're all seekers of tranquility. Conservatives, you really are seekers of tranquility. You do things by the book because when you do things by the book, it's easier. You know what I mean? You're the type of people that go, look, I'll keep my car tuned up, because that way I don't have to worry about it, the likelihood of it breaking down on the highway. You plan. You look at everything down the road. You're the people that collect trading cards and gold and silver and stamps and baseball cards and things like that because you go, this will be worth something down the road. You plan for vacations. You plan for college education. You plan for the unforeseen things in life. You get long-term disability. You know what I mean? That's what you people do. That's white people stuff right there. If you really want to know, people will say, Kevin, why don't black people support Republicans? Because we haven't been taught how to plan. We haven't been taught about the future, leaving things to kids. I'm just being honest with you. I've said this many times. I remember I had a stamp. My stamp collection was a joke. I took stamps that had the postal marking, like it had been stamped, the letter received. And I would peel some of those off or cut them off with scissors, and I would just find different ones and I put them in my book. Now, I remember seeing a buddy of mine, his name is Joel. I remember seeing Joel's stamp collection, pristine from the post office in little plastic inserts, and I looked and went, holy cow. It was such a revelation that I had no clue what I was doing. I got stamps that have been with the stamp across it. They're not even pristine. You couldn't use them. They had no monetary value. And of course, because they were stamped, even in the future, they had no value. But yeah, I had those stamps. That was my collection. And Joel has pristine stamps, all different ones from the post office. These are the flower collection. This is the monetary collection. This is the civil rights collection. And they're all in these beautiful plastic inserts and things. And it's in a book. And he's got binders of these books. It was like a little library in his room. I went home and I didn't cry about it, but I was like, well, I can't do that because we were poor. To go tell my grandmother, I need you to buy me binders of books so I can put my stamps in it. And oh, by the way, I can no longer collect stamps that have been stamped, expired. I got to go to the post office and buy new stamps. My grandmother would be bored. Unless you're going to mail letters, you're not getting these stamps. I mean, period. It was night and day. Anyway, I look at how forward into the future, people look, the people that understand the rules and play by the rules and get it done. And then I look at the other side. And I'm telling you the reason why black folks, we are conservative to our core, but we don't understand how to organize and do things in this way that looks to the future of where are we investing ourselves. So we keep investing in nonsense. We invest in the Democrats, believing the lies that they've told. And that's why we are where we are. Back to this Gorka thing, and we've talked about this. They said it's too dangerous, don't leak it, blah, blah, blah. Not a single thing redacted in the Republican memo. And I told you guys the other day, I said what Adam Schiff is trying to do is he's trying to set up Donald Trump by saying, we're going to put things in here you have to redact. What a childish thing. I mean, like Trump was going to release this and say, look, the Democrats planted a bunch of stuff in here that we can't tell you. Now they're going to pretend that we're the bad guys, but we're not. We're the resistance. We're the people telling you that this government has been corrupted by these criminals. And these are not people that go to a bodega and steal $50 in cigarillos or whatever. These are people who are stealing this republic right from under your very eyes, imposing a police state that can get anybody it chooses. It will shut you down. It will ridicule you. It will turn this nation against you. It will then imprison you and throw away and threaten everybody beyond you. In other words, around you. It'll threaten your kids. It'll threaten your best friends. That's what that's what would happen. Ask yourself, the people that were afraid of Hillary Clinton getting elected, they didn't like her. People don't like Hillary Clinton. They gave Barack Obama the chance thinking he would change things, really legitimately change things. They were giving Hillary a chance because they knew that the fix was in. I used to ask people all the time, I go, if Hillary's so popular, why can't she fill any venue? She got started the Scooby tour and in that stupid van went into a little truck stop. Nobody noticed her. Nobody cared. And if she was wrapped up like nobody's going to notice me, she was hoping they would. They had cameras at the ready and nobody said a word. Those truckers are like, yeah, okay, let me pay for my gas. And then they got out of there. Nobody cared. Then she did 3 tour, like breakout, like Hillary's coming out. I want the world to know. And she did this 3 times, 3 announcements of her candidacy. Not a single one of them filled a room. There was a situation in a black church, no exaggeration. They thought they were expecting thousands. They brought the room, they closed the room off so that it would look better. There weren't 75 people in this black church that holds thousands. It's a mega church. I think in Philadelphia or Cleveland. I can't remember where. Hillary couldn't get, there were more Secret Service and Hillary staffers than there were members of that church that came to see Hillary Clinton. The reason why Hillary Clinton was given any amount of respect as a candidate, the reason why the DNC rolled over, Bernie Sanders rolled over, and many other Democrats rolled over was one simple reason. They knew Hillary Clinton would be president. They just knew it. And nobody wants to face a vindictive, absolute witch like Hillary Clinton, because Hillary will do the things that she has done to people that have gotten in her way is legendary. You just ask Juanita Broderick, whom I will have on the show at some point. That's why. Very simply, they did not want to cross her and the people around her. And Valerie Jarrett said it before with the Obama administration. She said, there will be hell to pay to the people that don't follow along the lines with us. That's what Democrats do. They will threaten you. It's not willful cooperation with them. It is you do this or else. And that's where they find themselves now and in big trouble, because now people go, okay, it's safe to come back in the water. The sharks are gone. The swamp's been drained.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.